Alright, what's going on everybody? It's Nico, and this is the last of the post-commentary games I have to do. As you can see, our team is Chok, Giannis, Serket, Sobek, and we're going up against Zhonghui, Kronos, Sobek, Mercury, and Ul. I wanted to play Artemis because I got Neith to Diamond, and I don't feel like playing her anymore. Didn't want to play Ul. I had just played on her. I don't like AMC. I don't like Apollo. And I didn't feel like playing Ho Yi. Well, I was about to play him, but then I was like, I want to play Artemis. So I played Artemis. And also I don't like Cupid. Though Cupid on the PTS right now, pretty much like the best hunter. Just because with his hearts, he can stay in lane forever. As long as the support picks up his hearts. So Artemis, let's talk about this. But first I want to say, if you like this kind of gameplay, where I talk over it and kind of go over what I'm doing and stuff like that, I can do this more often than not, instead of just hearing my live communication, because I feel like some people would like this more because it's like, oh, you're doing this because you're like, I can explain why I did what, where I went wrong and all that stuff in the moment, instead of, well, not in the moment, but you get what I'm trying to say. I can explain why I did something and why I didn't do something, whereas when I'm just doing it, I'm not explaining why I'm doing it. But yeah, so I wanted to play Artemis. Artemis, not considered one of the best carries or hunters right now, but it's casual queue. You can play whatever the fuck you want in casual queue. You can go Bakasura mid if you really, really wanted to, as long as you try to win and you don't feed. The reason I am not standing at the mid camp is because on the possible, like, just in case they invade, you don't want to be in the mid camp, because then you have to try to run the tower really far. So standing more towards your tower is better. But just standing off to the side. I've been killed I can remember one time where I was standing closer to the mid camp than the tower because I got Bakasura heavy hammered because the solo laner was in duo lane. It was stupid as fuck and I hated it, but it's just like, oh yay. But shit happens. Yeah, so I'm playing Artemis because I like Artemis. Doing standard stuff. One of the things that I was going to talk about is you could do Unicorn build on Artemis. It just doesn't make a lot of sense because of her passive. She gets in-hand crit. She gets 15% crit chance just for attacking things. So it makes more sense to build crit because you're just increasing the amount of chance you can get to crit even more, making Artemis a really, really hard carry. Artemis is a very, very hard carry. So yeah. One of the things me and Trent noticed is that it looked like Ul and Sobek accidentally leashed their camp because they're way later to lane than we expected them. Also, I was worried about this lane because Sobek Ul is pretty good setup to get kills. Like, it's a pretty good kill lane. Thankfully, they're not trying to strip us. They're just trying to clear the wave as fast as possible. So I'm still getting golden XP because they're not using their presence of mind and their pressure, like not pressuring us. One of the things I suck with on Artemis is last hitting. Any god that doesn't clear very well, I'm kind of bad at last hitting, just because sometimes I'm not paying attention. Also, Trent kind of ran away from me and kind of left me to die, but then he came back, thankfully. There's no point, there's no reason that I should ever be in front of Trent, especially against an enemy Sobek. He should always be in front of me in those situations. Also, there's no reason as a hunter you should ever be in the front line in the first place. If you, as the hunter, are the furthest person up, your positioning is, poor, and you're making a mistake. Serket tried to steal their speed buff, and Ul, for some reason, rotated out. I don't understand why. It was not the right decision for him to rotate out, because he just lost 3 creeps. Like, I was intentionally trying to last hit those creeps to make sure he couldn't get them. Because I saw Sobek there, and I was just like, well, fuck this. If you're going to rotate out of lane continuously, I'm going to keep trying to only last hit and not push the wave, because fuck you, you're not getting XP and gold. If you make bad decisions, I'm going to punish it. Trent misses charge prey, he tail whips. We were joking about this earlier, where every Sobek ever who misses charge prey tail whips immediately, because it's just like, oh fuck, I'm over here, I might as well knock you up. So it's just funny that we like knew that was a thing. Unfortunately, we get first blooded, and then we drop another kill because we invaded red. Yeah, and then the Giannis dies. So it's just like, well, fuck. So that sucks. But, you know, shit happens. You gotta just keep going on. You know, still, it's the laning phase, pre 3 minutes. We're just over here, you know, smacking minions. And then I hit 5. I level my 3 and 4. I don't get the 2. And something I tried this game was leveling the 1 after the 3, because the 2 doesn't really do anything until late game anyway, because it's an attack speed steroid. I didn't really get a chance to test this out because I never got a chance to really like go in on Ul, but I feel like the increased damage or the increased dot on the traps would be better if you're trying to 100-0 somebody with Artemis by using the boar into trap, into 3, into auto attacks. But yeah, one of the things I do want to talk about real quick is from like playing the PTS, the attack speed buff is really, really awesome and has actually made hunters relevant again, which is kind of crazy because like everybody was just like, well, hunters kind of suck. Duo lane's just going to be a warrior and a guardian now. And like the warrior meta was about to come back, but then they nerfed Witchstone and not Heavy Hammer, Runeforged Hammer, and then they buffed Sovereignty for whatever reason and they buffed every hunter's attack speed, and all but one's auto attack speed gains per level, which is really good. Because with the attack speed buff, they're basically saying, hey, let's make it to where you have to auto attack the wave to clear it instead of using abilities, which is good, and I like that. The only problem was before it gave you more damage on your in-hand attacks and attack speed, is that nobody could do that because they're like all hunters' attack speeds are really low at base. Like they start below like sub 1 attack speed. So it's a good thing they buffed that, and a lot of them I think are like increased to at least 1, if not like 0.9 something. A lot of hunters start at 0.8. So that's good. I like that. I like the fact that hunters are relevant in the duo lane again. Though some people are saying that Kronos is still going to be the best duo lane character. I don't know if that's still true. I haven't played the PTS that much, and I haven't been like watching streams right now. I feel like with that buff that it's not going to make Artemis better because, I mean, there's no real reason to say like, oh, okay, obviously now that, you know, everybody's auto attacking the wave down, Artemis is better. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Though it does make like hunters in general better suited for the duo lane. So, you know, just clearing lanes, back to just this gameplay, clearing the lane, trying to punish Ul for rotating out as much as possible. He doesn't do the same to me. I fuck up real bad here because I was like, oh, whatever, I can like do this and I'm fine. Though the only problem is I don't dodge the axe stun and then I get bursted really hard because I'm also tanking an entire wave of minions. If I had played that better, I would have 1, lived, and 2, not gotten stunned. But also, if I had just not gone that way and I've gone the safe way, like I should have, I wouldn't have been in trouble at all. That was a stupid decision. I do this sometimes. Like, if you saw the Poseidon Joust gameplay, you know, oh, hey, Nico, you killed yourself. So, yeah, sometimes I do that because I overestimate how safe I am or how good, I guess I could, like, my jukes are. But yeah, I got straight shit on. That was my fault. Shouldn't have done that. Should have gone the safe way by going around the back of the tower and coming at the minions from there and just letting the tower take some damage and missing some gold. Fortunately enough, Ul doesn't like last hitting the wave. He likes pushing, so I don't miss any gold or XP ever. He's really nice like that. I'm not. So he does that. I don't. I'm auto-attacking, all that good stuff. What else? There's not much else to talk about as Artemis in the duo lane, other than you max your 3. I hold a point when I'm level 8 and put a point into my 3 and 4 at level 9, just because I want the board to hit as hard as possible, so that combo hurts really hard. But I think here I live for so long, like after dying, that I back with 3,000 something gold and buy a Deathbringer instead of finishing my boots. because I thought it would be hilarious, because I thought we were going to lose this game because our teammates wanted to surrender, and I was just like, whatever. But at the same time, I was like, but if I make it to late game, Artemis fucking destroys everything. Because people fail to forget, like, Artemis may not have a lot of safety in lane, but if she makes it to late game, she's one of the harder hitting carries in the game. Like, she's one of the hard carries in the game, just like Mercury and Xbalanque. Like, one of the reasons, like, also Xbalanque is considered really top tier hunter in the PTS right now, and it's kind of ridiculous because the only thing that changed is there's a new starter item that helps you like sustain instead of having blue buff, and the auto attack buff just is insane. So the weird thing is like, since Xbalanque only has to auto attack the wave, you can max your 1 and clear the wave really, really effectively now, which is good because it makes him relevant. And it's also good because he's one of the hardest hitting carries in the game, like, to be completely honest. So that's what, like, but in the live client right now, the thing is, people always think, oh, Artemis and Xbalanque are bad. Artemis and Xbalanque aren't bad, they're just risky, because Xbalanque can't clear, like, he doesn't have the potential to clear like Apollo on her ROM. These top picks right now can, like, they can clear really, really well, whereas Artemis, Xbalanque and Cupid can't. But with this new, like, way that the duo lane works, where you're mostly auto attacking the wave so you don't waste a bunch of mana, and also you don't have the mana buff anymore, so you can't just use your abilities to clear waves, and most carries, most hunters got their wave clear nerfed in that regard anyway. It buffed the ones that are more auto attack centric, which people thought was going to happen in the first phase of the PTS, but it didn't, just because, for the simple fact, the auto attack buff kind of really sucked. I like the auto attack buff as it is now, but it might be too strong, giving 15 physical in-hand power, because apparently if you do Death's Toll, Morningstar, like going into Transcendence, you hit for like 70 per auto attack with the auto attack buff, which is a little insane, because I think it gives you 12 in-hand physical power as a physical character, and 15 magical in-hand power, which is actually a lot, especially with the way magical power scales in hand. So that's a lot of damage. I think it needs to be scaled back a little bit to maybe like 6, like maybe reduce it by half, but I like that direction that it's going in, where it gives you damage in your like autos, but not any towards your like physical like power abilities and stuff. I like that a lot. But yeah, enough about the PTS stuff. I think it's really cool that we might see some more auto attack based characters come back. I don't think Artemis is going to come back that much, just because of how easy she is to gank, and if she doesn't have her ultimate, she just kind of dies. What should have happened is their Mercury should have been camping me this entire game. There was no reason for me to only die the one time that I did, and it was because I went to lane in a really stupid way. Like, there's no reason I should not be getting constantly ganked by the Mercury, to be completely honest. It doesn't make any sense. It honestly doesn't. Also, I fucked up Tusky there because the damn board just always the tiniest amount of range. But yeah, so that happened. But yeah, Mercury should have been camping my lane real hard, making it so I couldn't get the late game, because that's where Artemis shines the most, because she has crit, and then she'll just wreck every single person in her path by just auto-attacking. It's kind of insane. But that didn't happen, thankfully. Spoiler alert, I guess I should say. And I get to go to late game, and it's really awesome. Also, like you can see, I'm freezing the lane because I don't want Ull to get any of this XP or gold, because fuck that. The only problem was my lane was kind of pushed already, so my minions were just winning. He did miss half a creep wave. He missed 3 creeps, but it's not as detrimental as I would have liked it to be. Unfortunately. I saw him back, and now I'm going to strip him more by last hitting. It just makes sense. Like, you either push really hard if you're a character that can instantly clear the wave, like on her or Apollo right now, or you strip. And since I'm neither on her or Apollo or ROM, I'm going to strip by just letting the minions kill each other and last hitting them when they have almost no HP. So, yeah, if you're playing Hunter and you're not doing this, this is something you should probably learn how to do, because I just made Ul miss half a wave again. And that starts to add up eventually. Like, if you continuously miss half a wave, half a wave, half a wave, then they're going to get way further behind. And they're going to be like, how the fuck am I so far behind? I'm clearing the way. Like, they think they're farming well, but you keep denying them more and more gold by just making it to where they're not getting their stuff. Also, this guy was kind of he's just weird, because he would come at me and then just do some stuff like that. And later in the game, you'll see me kind of just fuck on him, because it seems like he may be a level 10 Ul, but he seems to be entirely too confident in what he could and couldn't do. So yeah, learn to deny and deny well if you're gonna be playing Hunter a lot. Another thing you need to learn is proper positioning. I would say if you want to learn really good positioning, play a risky character like Artemis or AMC. Like, play characters that if you get caught out, you're fucking dead, because that will make you way hyper aware of your positioning. Though it's gonna suck when you're going up against like a team that has like super aggressive ganks. The whole point is to get punished and learn, oh, I can't be here, or I can't be pushed up, or and stuff like that. So if you want to learn how to properly position yourself, play characters that are really, really risky in that regard. It's not the greatest advice, but it is something you can do if you want. Trust me, you might not want to, though, because it's not fun dying, and if you're not good at it, you're gonna die. Also, I like the fact that I'm critting for 300, and Ul's just, like, gonna eat it, and he's just like, oh, I hit you for 120, I hit him for 304. Like, oh, Artemis. Because I have 35% crit. So he gets hit by the boar. He used level, what's it called, beads? Level 1 beads right there. So that's a 3-minute cooldown. I even go to check, which means I get stunned and bladed arrowed, though it didn't matter at all. Because with my with my crit and how hard I'm hitting, I'm life stealing more than him. Like, it's insane, but it's kind of cool. Also, he kind of just runs away sometimes. I don't know. He did not like to commit to fights at all. Like, he was just like, I'm gonna run now. Like, I don't know. It's weird. If you're Ul, you're basically going, I want to fight you. Like, that's what you are saying. Like, Ul and Onher are both duelers. Like, you want to get kills early on. You want to fight the enemy Hunter. For whatever reason, he didn't want to fight me. Like, they both have really good kits to do that, and he just wouldn't. Also, I was like, is Jean Quay the solo lane? Like, I was so confused by this gank, because somebody rotated across the entire map to try to kill me, and then it failed. Like, I was super, super confused to why Jean Quay was in my lane. It made no sense. But thankfully, Trent showed up and it let me get an entire wave of XP. And I was just like, okay, so this doesn't happen again. I'm going to put a trap here. Because fuck that noise. And then, unfortunately, Trent gets caught out and dies, and they get another Gold Fury. But, oh well. Sometimes that happens. But yeah. I'm glad that I don't know if Jean Quay had his ultimate, but if he did, I would have died. So I don't know if he just didn't have it, or he didn't want to use it on me, or whatever. I'm just glad he didn't, because I was like, oh, hey, I get to live. But Trent dies. That means that Gold Fury goes down in the enemy's favor, because their support is up and ours isn't, and we don't have a hand 3. I stupidly rotate away from my lane to try to save people and get kills instead of farming. I don't know if I get any kills or save anybody, so I'm not sure if this is going to work out in my favor at all. Because if I don't get anything, it's a waste of time, unfortunately. So I see them doing that, and I'm like, oh, hey guys. I don't think I do. Yeah, I don't get any of them, because I can't catch up to them, because Mercury. And then I run away and go back to right lane, because I'm pretty sure someone pings my lane a bunch, and I'm like, okay, I came to rotate to try to help fight. Don't don't aggressively ping me, asshole. Like, if you want me to just, AFK farm and let you die, I guess I could, but I don't want to do that. Also, this time, I was going to say I learned, but at the same time, I'm like, wait, I have beads 1 and my ultimate. Like, I could just fight him. Also, I expected him to throw the axe way sooner than he did. Like, I was really confused by that. Because that's why I beads there. I expected the axe right as soon as he switched stances. Instead, he auto-attacked me a bunch of times beforehand. I guess I misplayed that because I didn't get a right read on him. But it just, I don't know. It was weird because, I mean, I guess he played that correctly because I thought he was going to throw it and then he didn't, so I wasted my beads. But I don't know. It was weird to me that he didn't throw it right then because there was no... Every other time he would switch stances, he would throw it right away, so I expected it. So if he meant to do that, awesome. If he didn't, he's the luckiest fucker ever. I also see Kronos rotate left, and I'm thinking, oh fuck, they're going for Fire Giant. Thankfully, they're not, because I don't see the lava rising or anything else. And he went to his red buff, I have to assume. Oh, this is the part where I get pinged because my tower is being attacked. Because that's a really big deal if we lose a tier 1 fucking tower. You know? Tier 1s. They're super important. Giving the enemy 500 gold. Oh, no. I'm sorry, but if you are mad that your teammate lost their tier 1, why? It's a useless tower. Like, it actually serves no purpose in that whole regard. Yeah, his beads are back up, unfortunately. Trent creeping cursed him while he had CC immunity, which was funny to me because, well, it doesn't do anything. Here, I'm just going to try to auto-attack Zhonghui to, not disengage, but to be like, hey, don't aggress on us. Sobek gets super, super bold here, and tries to dive us. Not the smartest idea, though. Trent goes back in and is like, oh, hey, I'm going to fight you. At some point, Sobek goes in, and I'm like, okay, here, suck it. Even with your shell, we're going to kill you because you dove a tower. So fuck you. So that happened. Here, what do? I don't buy anything? Oh, okay, my beads were still on cooldown. I was going to say. If my beads weren't on cooldown, I probably would have upgraded them to tier 2 because then I could actually use them. Though at this point, at 30 seconds, I should have upgraded them anyway because by the time we got into another engagement, it would have been off cooldown. But that's just a misplay that I just now noticed. Oh well. So my boots are finally done, so I have pen. So I have third item Deathbringer, pen, and then third item pen. I mean, god damn it. Third item Deathbringer, and then I finally finished my boots fourth technically because it's Death's Toll, Dev Gauntlets, Deathbringer, Warrior Tabi. I don't know. I found that kind of funny that I just had that much gold to buy a Deathbringer. And our Artemis, it's a huge damage spike, so I was just like, well, yeah, I'll do that. Also, right here, I thought they were going for my blue buff because I saw the trap damage numbers come up, but it wasn't that trap. So, that... And then I accidentally get him in that, which is hilarious. And I kill him because, he just misplayed, really. I mean, that wasn't me being like, oh, I outplayed the shit out of you. It was more like, you kind of misplayed that entire engagement. So, yeah, you should pay attention to where you walk, Ghoul, because you don't want to step in a trap after your beads are off cooldown. After beadsing the boar. One of the things I do like about Artemis is that anybody who gets hit by the boar is just like, oh, beads. But if you as Artemis not engage or initiate fights with the boar, but kind of stay in the back and wait until people have other people have used CCs, then the boar does really, really, really awesome work. I feel like Artemis is really, her team fight potential with the boar is really, really good, especially if you can catch people without Magi's Blessing or beads. It's kind of, people kind of sometimes just sit there afterward. Sometimes they forget that, oh, yeah, I'll just eat it. They'll just eat the stun, and then they die. So, either you beads it, or you die. Just like most things. And there I just take 2 hits because I'm like, whatever. And I'm building into Executioner at this point because, well, I wanted attack speed finally. I could have built into Chin size, but it would have taken too long, and I want to get my rage as soon as possible. And I was really confused here because I was like, where the hell are the other minions at? I make Chronos Rewind, which is great because my ult for that one, oh, that's a win. That is a win if I've ever seen one. Also, I beads the Chrono stun because I see that Ul's trying to come in on me. And I'm like, I'm not having any part of that. Ul dies. This poison spreads to so many minions. And then Chronos also dies because I was able to force a stun, thankfully. And at that point, I was like, attack the Gold Fury, because there's no way they're going to be able to take it from us when they're down to. Even with Zhang Kui's big team fight ultimate, we're going to be able to burst this down faster than they can get over here. And Mercury dies, and Sobek is silenced, and we get the Gold Fury. And I'm pretty sure we kill this Sobek as well. Or the Zhang Kui? I don't remember. But I do remember thanking the mighty heavens that I had my Deathbringer at this point, because I get really low, and the only reason I live is because of crits and getting lifesteal. Because I had maybe 100 HP right there, and I was able to lifesteal it back up. And Chalk and both Sobek were able to be enough of a nuisance that I could fight them, which was amazing. So my Executioner's done. I wanted to get level 2 sprint, but I think, yeah, I just ended up getting level 1. I feel like I should have just finished beads. Never mind, they're on cooldown. I did the right thing. Because if they're on cooldown, that means you use them, and if you if you buy into it but you can't use it, it's kind of really dumb. So yeah, made the right choice there by not finishing my beads and going into sprint. Though at this point, it really sucks that I didn't have sprint online, because Mercury comes to fight me, and he does have his sprint online. Also, unfortunately, Trent fucking used Creeping Curse on someone who's CC immune again. At this point, if I had sprint done, I would have been able to fight and kill this Mercury way easier, and I wouldn't have gotten anywhere near as low. Unfortunately, I didn't have sprint done, and I die because Zhang Kui comes up behind me? No, he blinks in. And for whatever reason, Sobek backs all the way off. No, he comes back in, but it's just not enough. Serket was low, she had to get out. I don't know where Giannis was at all, and Chalk was dead, unfortunately. So at this point, I'm like, okay, time to finish all my defensive stuff. Get beads, get full sprint. Cool. I have enough damage with Executioner, Boots, Deathbringer, Devo's Gauntlets, and Death's Toll that I'm like, I need my defensive options up and ready to go. That way the next time I fight, like Mercury or something, I can actually like fight him and not just get critted and lose. Because he has a Deathbringer going into a short sword, most likely going to be Rage as well. And that way I can keep my distance from him. So that would be great. I felt like he had sprint, though. Oh, well. He's probably just his passive movement speed being just insanely high from his 2 and a maximum velocity. So, yeah, I want my beads and sprint up so that way I can fight and not get slowed and just auto-attack while maintaining movement speed, max movement speed. I also sprint to my right side because I don't want to lose the tier 2 tower, because a tier 2 tower gives them as much gold as Gold Fury, whereas tier 1 tower is shit. So I really, really wanted to make sure this didn't go down. So sprint, not that big a deal. 60 seconds, that's going to come off cooldown relatively quickly. Serket goes in on Ul and kills him, which is great because if they don't have their carry in their team fights, it's a really, really big win for us. They're going in. Thankfully, the boar's coming in. I'm attacking the Sobek because I'm like, hey, you want to try to fight our friends? I'll kill you because Artemis. Unfortunately, Serket gets killed by the Mercury. We saved Giannis, though, which is really good because his team fight potential is much, much higher than Giannis's. I mean, Serket's. So I'm glad that Giannis lived because his ultimate is amazing and all that good stuff. Or was it Giannis that we saved? I feel like it was. No, Chalk died. I thought Serket died there. Weird. But yeah, so that's cool. Here, I'm pretty sure we get this tower, if I'm not mistaken, because Mercury isn't enough of a dissuasion. Like, he doesn't have enough presence to dissuade both me and Sobek, because I do a lot of damage at this point in time. And Trent's pretty goddamn tanky, even taking those Meiji looks. Also, I'm so glad I had both of my actives ready, because that Zhong Kui Mercury combo could have wrecked me. Also, I don't think Zhong Kui uses ultimate there again. I don't understand why he doesn't use it when attacking me. I understand saving it for team fights, but he keeps dropping kills because he won't use it on just me. It has to be on cooldown. Like, I have to assume every time he's ganked me like that, it's on cooldown, because otherwise it just doesn't make sense. Unfortunately, Trent dies, which basically I was just like, if we don't do something here, they're going to get Fire Giant. Like, we have to do something. I think I get kind of shit on because I don't have my actives here. Yeah, unfortunately, my active abilities weren't up yet, and I got caught. Thankfully, Serket comes in and gets a triple kill. Why does Zhong Kui have Fist of the Gods and Blink? Like, that's such a just not a good combo. I just realized that. Why does Zhong have Hand going into Fist anyway? Like, I'm so confused by that. Oh, he fucked that combo up. He should have dashed and then attacked. It would have done... He would have had 2 poisons on him. It would have done 10% of his health. He would have killed him sooner. I think it's 10%. If it's not 5%, then it goes into 10% with the 3 poisons. Can't remember. I haven't played Serket in a really, really long time. Here I sell that to get my short sword, because I feel like the additional... The hell word was that? The additional crit would be better. And here I tried to get over there as quickly as possible to help with the Fire Giant, because I want to actually help with it. There was no risk. This is free because the enemies are still dead, but I wanted to actually just be there and make sure. I got a participation medal. Yay. And then we rushed down mid lane. I dropped a sentry there to see if there are any wards there. Unfortunately, every time I've sentryed that spot, there's never ever a ward for me to take. I hate it because it's just the worst thing ever. Sentrying a spot and then not being able to kill any wards. And right here, I'm like, why am I further up than Trent? And Chalk. I'm like, why am I further up than you and Chalk? What the fuck? You don't want that to happen. You, as a hunter, you don't want to be farther up than your warrior and your support. Or guardian, I should say. So yeah, don't do that. So I'm glad, like, I recognized it and backed way the fuck off. Trent's trying to find some grabs. He found one. He beads, like, at the wrong point in time, so we couldn't do anything after he had landed. But he did get pulled. He did take damage for it, and now his beads are on cooldown. We do a bunch of damage to Mercury. I get a crit, so he dies. So that's great. Take the tower because of Fire Giant. Oh, not Mercury. Yeah, the Ul. Mercury beads my boar. I come in to help Giannis out because I don't want him to die. Mercury dies. Giannis ults. I don't think he hits anybody with it, but then Zhong Kui comes in. I make sure not to get hit by the stun because I don't want to be. What's his face? Kronos. God, I can't believe that name escaped me for so long. Has a goddamn Witchblade, so when I get near him, since I only have one auto attack item, or auto attack speed item, my auto attacks are actually getting slowed up by a pretty good amount, unfortunately. Here I wanted the speed buff, but Chalk took it, and I'm just like, oh, whatever. I didn't care. He's like, oops, and I'm already like, I already said no problem. Also, as you can see, I was way in that tower line, and for whatever reason, if you don't go past that tree, it doesn't target you. Like, I don't get it at all. But also, I say I'll attack the Gold Fury because I'm like, the enemies aren't here. I have crit and lifesteal online. I'm Artemis. This is going to die extremely quickly. So we kill it really fast. And Trent walks up, hogs it. I go back to buy Rage, and I might be going into Cheen size because I noticed that 3 of them built Warlock Sash. No, not 3. 2 of them built Warlock Sash, and then Sobek just has a bunch of health because he's the support and he's buying those items. So yeah, I'm making sure that it's like, well, I have Pen, I have Crit. What would help kill these people faster? Oh, how about percentage damage based off their health because they're building health? Yeah, that would help a lot. So I'm going into Qin size. I don't think I get to finish it, but I do get the Balance Blade, which helps a lot. Ul gets caught out yet again, and he's like, oh, I'm going to sprint away, and then I sprint with him and hit him for a crit for almost 700, and he dies. I'm really glad I didn't use the boar there. He totally thought I was going to because he even beads. And yeah, it was pretty great. Also, I see Kronos, and I'm like, hey, step in that. And beads, and ult. No, not fast enough. So that's great. Kill Kronos, kill Ul. That's really 2 of their main damage dealers. Zhang Kui is really good in team fights, and is good at disruption and getting people out of that. But with only Mercury and Sobek, he's not going to have an opportunity to really do that. Mercury could try to find a pick on maybe me with my active abilities on cooldown, but since my team rushed down middle lane and I'm split pushing right, or not split pushing right, caught 2 people right, it's great. Like, it worked out way in my favor. Go in on Zhang Kui. He gets kind of crapped all over because he doesn't have any defensive active abilities for whatever reason. So yeah, GG. Would have gotten another kill there. Would have been 14-3 had I not missed one of my auto attacks on that Zhang Kui. But what can you do? Sometimes that happens. There's not much else to say about, like, build-wise or anything like that. You know, that's Artemis. She gets to late game and she just shreds everybody because of the crit, and her crit chance is just innately higher than anyone else's, so she just does a shit ton of damage. The only way they could have stopped me is camping me the entire game. Like, Mercury should have been ganking my lane all the time. He shouldn't have been ganking Chalk or mid lane as much as he was. But yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's actually a dark screen because it's completely over, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.